Testing. 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 Wait. Testing. Testing. Testing.
In case my battery goes dead, help me remember what those questions were.
What? Better not go
Better
dead.
not go dead. All right.
Let's hear it.
Ready?
And we're back!
And we're back.
I can't stand it.
Huh?
No, just
Oh.
episode 33.
Episode 33. Hey, fellas and ladies and gentlemen and fellas. Welcome to episode 33 of Fireside Tats. I'm Fireside Jake, and this is Fireside David of the world-famous Tattoo Education Podcast.
Fireside Tats. I love
Fireside Tats. So I hope you guys had a nice week. This is our second week in a row. I feel like we're back in the groove.
I think so,
on the
too.
roll. We have more
Better.
questions.
Hot part of the summer. It's getting real hot here in Memphis.
That's true. Hot in Memphis, mosquito-y.
Yeah, man.
So, as always, go to firesidetats.com.
Tell us what you think.
Tell us what you think.
Give
Leave
some
us
thumbs up, some likes.
Leave us some likes. We should have a like. We do have a like button on the.
Oh, you better like it.
On
the Facebook.
On the Facebook, but can you go directly to the Facebook from the This is high tech shit that we're working with right here.
New age, new day.
So anyways, go to Facebook, like our page, and sign up for our mailing list. We'll keep you up to date on the goings-on of the Fireside community. We will also keep you up to date through Twitter. Oh, if you don't like to look at our faces but love our voices, go to iTunes and rate us 5 stars and leave us a comment.
5 stars.
Right. So, let's hop to it. We have a couple of questions today. One that I thought was going to go kind of fast, but we were talking about it a little bit before, and it might take a little longer. Or at least there's some fun kind of...
Well, you said you had done some research, which I
did research because I didn't want to sound stupid.
Well, I just talk shit all the time, so...
Yeah, but when you talk shit, you sound like you know what you're talking about. When I talk shit...
Thanks, Jake.
Yeah, when I talk shit, it sounds like I don't know what I'm talking about. So the first question that we have is actually not a question to us. I pulled this question off of Reddit, off a tattoo forum on Reddit, and I thought it was interesting.
But that's, it's a good question. We've never talked about it.
We have never talked about it. So basically, I'm not going to look it up because we don't need the word for word, but someone on the one of the tattoo pages on Reddit had wants a tattoo and is concerned that it's a copyrighted image, and wanted to know if there were any if she could, he or she, I assume it's a she. Something about it made me think it was a woman.
Did it say what the piece was?
No, it didn't say. It was just I want to get something. I believe it's a copy. I believe the image is copyright protected. And I'm concerned about any liability, right? And
slam the lawsuit somewhere along the way.
Yeah,
just from someone taking a photo of it, maybe going to a convention or whatever.
Right. Yeah. Something interesting, kind of not off topic, but whenever I looked it up to see about that, because I know that everyone's tattooed images. We've all tattooed a Tweety Bird or a Taz or some cartoon character that's under copyright. But
that's how you start.
Yeah, so anything.
Cat, go ahead.
Yeah, I know that.
Jesus
anything
Christ.
that anything that an artist puts out has copyright protection to a certain extent, without even registering it or even doing the little copyright logo.
Right.
Now, you do have to register it in order to file suit against someone, apparently. But as far as the image being yours and being protected from being manipulated or being used in ways that you don't want it used, just making the image and having some actual proof of when you made the image is really all you need. You don't really have to register it or anything.
It's true. And usually what they'll try to do is if they have to backtrack, they'll look at what kind of artwork you should always have examples of it, and then put some dates on it, even if it's on the back. It doesn't have to be on the front, but your signature and a date, and you can always take a picture of it with some article or something like that.
I was talking to someone before
that has a time stamp on it.
Yeah, just to give some type of have some type of proof.
Yeah.
So I was I don't know, talking to some artist a while back. It was well before I was on Facebook, and they had pulled all of their artwork from Facebook because Facebook, I guess, is licensed to use anything that you post to a certain extent. And so they this person found one of their photographs on like on a sidebar that was not. That they had never given
never given any acknowledgement to, and it doesn't even say who's it from. It's just used
they just used it. It was just like
as an image. Basically, it's like free advertising for them because you're using their service.
Right.
And so just remember that if you're uploading your photos and you're putting them online,
they might take them.
They can absolutely use them for just about anything.
Yeah. But anyways, that's not the point. This person wants to know about
whether they would get in trouble.
So from my research on it, which was just a Google search, and then it kind of led me on a 20-minute click on this. I spent a little time on it just because I was interested.
I like it.
So from the client's point of view, there's really absolutely no liability whatsoever, because if in order for the copyrighted image to be, or it doesn't have to be an image, anything that you produce, it could be words, it could be anything, but in order for anyone to be liable, there have to the person who has the image protected would have to prove that one, someone had used it for profit, which monetary gain, or two, that they are not defacing, but they're devaluing the image in some way, like making it less valuable than it was before, and they'd have to prove that in court. So is there potentially would there be some liability for the artist? Maybe. For the person that got the tattoo, you're not going to make a dime off of the tattoo, and it would be really difficult to prove that you had devalued the work by having it tattooed on you.
It's almost like kind of a defamatory statement. It's basically, what if you were doing it and you did it so badly, or you did it on purpose to make it look totally altered in some situation? They could probably do something about it. Maybe. It's like, but it'd have to be horrible, and you'd have to put it everywhere. You'd have to make 1,000 stickers and 1,000 photos. And again, most of the time, like I said, even when artists send stuff into magazines and such, they do sometimes get compensated for a photo of an image, but often, like you said, as the consumer, you don't get much for that. You might even get your name in it if they put it in, or if you go to a convention and someone takes a photo of it. But there's usually no monetary gain on that, and so there's almost no, like I said, there's nothing that could probably do against you.
I wouldn't think so. I think it's probably. I mean, chances are, even if it were possible, it's never going to happen.
Never.
The one website that I was reading on said that a few cases have been brought up. Not a single case has ever gone to court. Right. They've all been settled out of court or dropped out of court. So it's and they were against the artist, never against someone that was getting a tattoo. So I doubt that. I doubt that it would ever be an issue. But you mentioned that at a convention some years back that.
Now this is just what it was basically. This is just what I heard. Maybe it's not true at all, but somewhere along the lines that DC Comics had put a cease and desist at a convention about doing like basically logos, Superman logos, Wonder Woman, any kind of stuff like that. They didn't want any of them done. Now, whether that was because they didn't want photos of them taken, I don't know what the actual thing was, but I don't know if they can even say that. I don't know if they could actually even tell you not to do it, because you basically are making a one-off. The artist himself, you're making a facsimile, if anything. And again, you're not disguising it as the original. So you're not counterfeiting by any means. You're making basically what is a translatable image into another form. I don't know if it'd be like basically suing someone for doing sidewalk chalk of anything. It's like, well, those are master copies to a certain extent, but I didn't ever say that this was my Van Gogh or whatever. You know, I think again, it would have to be, if you were doing it maybe as to defame or to ridicule the artist in some way or another. Maybe then like again you would be devaluing the original art, and maybe then they would have something to say about it. But I mean, I don't
You think
see
they would
how,
be hard pressed? It just
Yeah.
doing a nice reproduction of a piece of art, even if you were paid
Right.
hourly for the tattoo or
Right.
paid for the piece, it still would be pretty difficult, I think, for anyone
At the
to.
most, you could, like I said, you probably get it into a magazine, and you may make some money off of that, but you would never make that much off of it.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe because your name's on it, people would come to you for another piece that's like that, but
Yeah.
there's almost no other, except for the actual reproduction of it, you gain nothing from it. So
Yeah.
it's not like you basically putting in, and mass producing it, in another
Yeah.
way.
Now, while we're sitting here talking, I was thinking of another spin on this. I'm assuming when this person talks about a protected image that it's not another it's not another tattooer's work, that it's like an actual copyrighted
I would
image.
assume it's
but-
probably a painting
so,
or drawing or
Yeah.
something that's like that they want to reproduce in
yeah,
some way.
bringing
That's what I'm
in-
assuming.
Yeah, bringing in a tattoo to reproduce
Right.
that you
That
want,
may-
that's different to me.
I wouldn't call that a copyrighted image, but people
It's
are
probably
gonna
not
know
a
where that
copyrighted
came
image,
from,
but-
and they're going to know if you're doing one-offs from some artist.
I say that because I see on Instagram, I see artists that will post photos of other artists trying to duplicate their work and say, "Well, hey, look at this," so, and it will be, there's some pretty famous tattoos out there that people are trying to pull off
Right.
over and over, and I think that's different. I'm trying to not be hypocritical here and think of why that seems different to me, because you didn't change the medium for one thing, because you just basically took someone's work and did it again.
Right.
I think a lot of artists, as a matter of fact, I know a lot of fine artists really appreciate people having their work tattooed on them.
I think that's
true.
true.
We were talking about.
I mean, from the people that we've met and the artists that we've met and the articles, and like I said, anywhere between Giger to half a dozen artists that have mentioned that they love to see their work in tattoos because it's a completely different medium, completely different art form from theirs, and it's inspiring to them.
Yeah.
It's that someone would go out of the way to put that on them permanently and live with it, explain it, and that they love it. I think that there's you were talking about Alex Gray earlier.
Alex Gray, I've seen him I've seen him take photographs with tattoos that.
And I'm sure that's
that-
true
of his
probably,
work,
especially if they're done well. I mean, I know I've heard Mark Ryden.
Mark Ryden, I know he likes it. James Jean, Vanessa
Jean.
in our shop did a James Jean, a tattoo based on a James Jean painting, and he commented on her Instagram page about it. So
And I think that's artists really enjoying seeing a translation of their stuff. They see
Yeah.
theirs all the time. It's unusual to see it someone else take it, love it, and take it into a different art form.
yeah.
I think most people appreciate it. It's only where you get to some mega company that doesn't have real faces, that it's just this monopoly or machine, that you're probably going to have them. I've never heard of people getting in trouble with monster logos or crap on them, or a Mountain Dew logo or something like that.
Yeah.
So I doubt that you'd have any problems with it. But I would probably just
I can't see it ever being an issue.
make
and
sure it's not someone
especially-
else's tattoo.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing. Make sure that it's not someone else's tattoo. You'll never that'll never be okay.
Right.
Just because
Artists
there's
will
no
know.
real translation there. It's just it's
Yeah.
a reproduction of someone else's work,
And if you really like that person's work, why don't you go get a tattoo from them?
yeah, get a tattoo from
Make a
them,
trip.
or
Shop.
be willing. If you've done your homework on your artist in the first place, they're not going to reproduce someone's work anyways.
No, they're not going to do it.
So I have people bring reference of other tattoos that they like, and I just know the questions to ask. I say, what do you like about this?
Style references,
Yeah,
basically,
style.
at
You
that
like it?
point.
Do you like the way it sits on the hip? Do you like the contrast? Do you like the
You like
what?
those
What
traditional
stands,
lines?
Yeah, exactly. What stands out to you about this tattoo? Because I'm not going to do this tattoo.
Right.
I'll draw something and I'll use some of the elements that you like, but I won't reproduce the tattoo. And most legitimate artists won't, all legitimate artists won't. But there are tattooers that will, and it's just never okay, in my opinion.
No, I mean, again, if you're looking at someone's work and you're inspired by it and you're trying to work in that same vein, that you should be always working out of your own head. You're gonna go a lot farther that way. You're gonna find out a lot more about your work and your art, and not just by translating or trying to basically copy somebody else's work. It's just not gonna work that way.
Yeah. And I'll even, Dimitri HK, when he first started tattooing, he drew. I mean, he looked at tattoo magazines and drew from other tattooers constantly, but he didn't reproduce. He found the element. He looked and he saw what worked in good tattoos and what didn't work in bad tattoos, and he put those puzzle pieces together and he made really unique work out of it. So I'm not saying that artists can't look at other tattoos to be inspired. As a matter of fact, I just drew a sleeve of birds last week, and I found an artist that I really liked a couple of his birds. They were really kind of dynamic. They were turned, and I glanced at them and I made some rough kind of sketches, and then I did my own drawing. And every 20 minutes or so, I might turn my phone back on and look back at what he did, how he handled a wing that fell in behind something. And my drawing didn't look like his at that point, but I liked the way that the wing fell out, so I used that.
If you like, the proportions, you like the line, you like the way something moves,
how it sits, how the feathers lay, something like that. It's that's one thing, and it's completely using other artists feed off of artists,
I think,
So using other artists' work is one thing, but reproducing it line for line is just
right. Do your own work.
Okay.
It's just so much easier, and then you'll make like I said, a name for yourself. It'll be your work that you'll
be much more satisfied.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't know if we answered it, but hopefully we answered that question.
I wouldn't worry about it.
Yeah, don't worry about it. I don't think you will have any problems as a person getting a piece of work ever with a copyright law. Ever. Yeah. Because I think it's, we were talking about, it's like going to Kinko's, and it's like, they'll make you one color copy, but they're not going to make you 100 color copies, of a specific image or a poster or somebody's artwork. Sometimes we've brought our own work in there and they won't do it. Be like, I'm the person who did this. It's fine. It's all right, they're just wary of that kind of thing. I think one is fine. And like I said, it's in the same thing. It's like, I don't think you'd ever have a problem. Artists, however, we didn't talk about like that one guy with that did the tribal tattoo on the face. Artists copywriting their own work and then basically having it represented or
used. That was because
they used it in a movie over and over, even though he basically was copywriting what he said he had doing that he could copyright the image
on Mike Tyson.
Of Mike Tyson.
And it was a completely generic tribal design too.
Exactly. Like
I think that guy was just trying to
make a couple bucks off of it too, which is look, you're an artist, you're trying to you don't want to see your piece pop up over and over because you don't get any more money from it, you don't get any credit for it, and that I understand, but it's one of those, that's Mike Tyson's tattoo now, man. You've got to let it go.
I tattoo someone that's all over magazines, and his tattoos are around constantly, and I get release forms
style, we've done millions of tattoos like it.
I get release forms from time to time from whoever, Nike or Gatorade or whatever, and I've
from some film stuff, some people that we work on to get.
And I've just never considered when those tattoos leave my station. Right. Those are his tattoos at that point. I don't care if he gets photographs taken with his tattoos.
That is a whole new. I don't know if you're just getting into tattooing, what's going to happen is that at some point one of your clients is going to get into either some ad work or getting into a movie or TV series, and they're going to hound you all the time for basically you signing away every image that is on that person. So get used to it. You're going to get some. We were faxing stuff all the time for a while, but. And there's no way to just check the box. They do it every time.
They do it regularly. You'll always get release forms, but
that seems to be fairly new. That doesn't. But I think that's a lot of film companies, like you said, trying to cover their ass so that
probably it's been since that idiot.
I think.
with
I'm
Mike
not
Tyson.
saying he's an idiot. Look, you got to make yours, but
but that's ridiculous.
Copywriting that crap, man.
It was a tribal design. Right. It's been drawn before, I guarantee. So you can find another.
It's like what we were just saying. It's like you're taking it from a style, you're altering it, you're manipulating it to a place, and I understand you've put a lot of work into it, but that's his tattoo, man.
It's his tattoo.
You gotta let it go.
Yeah, it's his tattoo. Yeah. It's ridiculous. All right, that was good.
Anybody should be mad. Mike Tyson should be mad.
Yeah, he's got that shitty tattoo on his face.
Right,
all right, we'll be back for part 2.
Thanks, you guys.
Enjoy your break.
Well, that's, yeah.
Oh, well. And we're back!
Wait. You're stealing my lines left and right, man.
Shit.
That's all right. I'm going to let you do it this time.
All right.
Because this is our 33rd episode.
It is. So that's Masonic in some way? Is that what you said?
Yeah. Levels of Mason. Yeah. 33-degree Mason's the highest supposedly you can be.
Oh, 33rd degree.
Yeah. So
Shit.
that's why I was like, oh, it's
What degree do you start at? I wonder.
You don't. 0, and then you get initiated. And
Oh.
then theoretically, 1.
1.
You're a 0, then a
1 to 33.
Takes you a little while.
I'd rather be a 360 degree Mason.
Yeah.
At least a 1. Maybe a 180 so that I'm going in a new direction.
180. Yeah, that's always turning, man.
Yeah.
Always turning, looking back.
That's never looking back. Always turning around.
I don't know if it's a good idea. But
I don't know. All right.
We're back!
Let's get
No,
back to
it's
part
okay.
2 of episode 33.
That was a very short break.
Fireside Tats. It was a short break. But we have carnitas in there.
Oh,
That's why it was so short.
Emily's been making those all day.
Man, they've been in the crock pot all
Can't
day.
wait. Brought some chips.
Chips
salsa.
and dips, Modelo's.
Let's hear it.
All
This is
right.
a good one, though. We were just talking about it.
we were talking a little bit about
man.
it at the break.
So bad.
So this this person, another Reddit question. Neither of these were our questions tonight, but I thought it was interesting too. So this
Something
person,
we haven't talked about. That's what I like.
something we haven't talked about. This person went in for a tattoo. Reputable shop, reputable artist, so they say. And basically, that looks like the person made some pretty bad mistakes while they did the tattoo. It was a Cthulhu, I'll say that.
Yeah.
Looks like the head is kind of janky, the face and the tentacles are uneven. Looks like a child drew it. The shading is dark. It makes the design hard to make out. It looks nothing like the person's original design or the way that the artist redrew the design for the person. Now, originally when they had the consultation, the artist told them it would take a couple of sessions. Instead, it took about 4 total hours, where the artist was on and off of his phone the entire time.
Right.
So obviously, kind of rushed.
It sounds horrible.
Distracted.
Distracted.
So the person wants to know what to do. They want to go back and complain, concerned that they signed a waiver, not sure where they stand, felt like they deserve compensation. So they just don't know how to approach it. Now, whenever I first brought it up, you mentioned, well, I would go directly to the owner.
That's what I would do.
This person is the owner of
Yeah,
the shop. So
that, however, is a problem.
That is a little bit of a problem.
I would still go back to him as the owner and just explain. And maybe you want to do it with a friend. Maybe you want to have somebody there so it doesn't get crazy or anything.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe just so that you don't feel like you're all alone in this situation. But I would show him. I would show him what your reservations for the tattoo maybe were, what's wrong with it now, point out everything you don't or dislike about it, and then see if they can fix it. I mean, I normally say, if they start acting wobbly or they don't want to do it, or like I said, if you tell them what you got told, and then maybe also remind them of what the situation was about. I have never, we don't, I mean, we never carry phones in our station. I don't put my phone anywhere near me. I keep it in the back.
Yeah.
I don't. That way, I tell people, it's like, if you want to get a hold of me during the day while I'm working, I'm at one place. You can walk in my front door and you can see me. I may be working on somebody, but there is no phone near me. How he could be answering the phone while he's tattooing on you? Like, is he taking his gloves on and off, or is he just slipping this? I mean, how is he possibly answering a phone? I remember way back when, when we had to get our tests taken again, licensing, and an artist here in town had that question. It's like, oh, well, do I have to like wrap my phone up, or do I have to take my gloves off every time I answer the phone? And that was
someone who was trying to like work the front desk and
work
tattoo.
the front desk and tattoo, which is insane. It should not happen. And if it becomes a real problem that the artist is sitting there constantly messing with their phone, you should immediately ask them, should I come back? Is this a problem? Or, I mean, at that point, you probably should have probably been a little more wary. Like you said, you've picked an artist, you've picked a place, and usually that's because if you've done your homework, you just kind of have to write it out with the artist. Now, if they will not absolutely deal with you in any way, shape, or form, I mean, what you can tell them, one, is that you're taking your business somewhere else, and that you'll tell everyone that you know basically what's going on. And because of the owner of the shop, you'll make sure that everyone knows that it's his fault. I mean, that's one thing when you go to basically show other artists your work and they basically can see how bad someone else's work is. I mean, they'll fix it. They usually give you a little bit of a just you coming into someone else's shop and finding someone else that could probably rework it, redo it. I give breaks to people like that. We see it happen all the time, and so it's one of those. If you're going to be a new customer at our shop, I guarantee you they'll probably jump over backwards to get you in their shop and to show the laughing stock of the tattoo that you're walking out with, so that they're covering it. I guarantee you, I would take a photo and then say, "Look at what I'm covering on this person." It's one of those things that if they won't do it, just make sure that they know that you're going to go to someone that actually, like I said, is reputable. Now, the only other thing that I can, we talked about it before, is that you could theoretically take them to civil court anyway, if it's that bad.
If it's that bad.
Now, I've seen where people have gone in where if it's that bad and they basically can prove it, a judge will basically usually I've seen this say that they'll either have to fix it or find somebody else to cover it. So it's either, it doesn't happen all the thing, but you're going to have to probably put a little money into finding a lawyer that will actually take them to court. It's not most times. I'm almost going to guarantee that he will probably try to settle. Them trying to get a lawyer and them trying to fight it out. If you've got a decent lawyer, it's just a shit storm. Let's just say that. Now, if they want to deal with you like on the up and up, they'll look at your work. You'll tell them what you want to change and what you want fixed, and hopefully they'll go along with it. But as far as say that I think that point about being compensated for something like that, you can't get more compensated for basically than the work fixing it or covering it. Yeah. And I think that's about as much as you can get. That's probably going to be
about it. If you wanted to have it lightened or lasered or something, you probably would have to go to court for that most likely. And I don't know if
it's that serious.
I would be really hesitant. This person said on the front end that it was a reputable shop. So assuming that they're right about that, I would first go back to the person and say, look, here's the original drawing. Here,
and if you talk to other people there before the owner, like if there are other artists that you talked to before, I'd let everyone in that shop see that tattoo. Everyone, so that there's not a chance for him to go like, oh, you're just trying to get one over on me. Oh, you're just trying to let everyone see it, and then they'll know. Hopefully, they'll figure out what to do about it.
Yeah,
and now somebody will step up. Hopefully, it'll be him.
Yeah, you would hope so.
If he's a reputable artist.
If he's a reputable artist, now if the way that it was worded, the shading makes the image confusing. The lines look like a child drew them. It makes me think even someone distracted, if they're a seasoned artist and they're working from a stencil, they're not going to draw it it's not going to like a child drew it. They're going to follow the lines that are on their stencil. So I'm a little hesitant about this artist to begin with.
Well, that's what I'm saying. If your machines are crapping out, maybe he's had a bad day, maybe he's just shaky, maybe I don't know what the problem is.
We've known artists with drug problems that put out nice tattoos and some of and some of the worst things that you've ever seen in your life.
And it could be day to day.
So it could be, and especially they're on their phone for who knows what. I'm with you. I think that there is nothing worse than, especially when you're talking.
It will not happen in our shop.
You're dealing with things outside. When you're tattooing, you really need to be in a different mindset. You need to be in a creative mindset. And in my case, I run a business outside of this. And if something from my other business pops into my mind because of a text message or because of a phone call, or I don't even have to answer the phone. If I just see a name pop up that makes me think of something else, it takes me out of my element. I'm not working the same way. I need to take a break. That's why you just keep your phones away. I've made the mistake here recently of using my phone to play music, to listen to my own music, and I just can't do it because inevitably someone's going to call that's going to distract me, and then I'm going to have to. Now I'm not going to screw up the tattoo because of it, but it just throws me off. I just don't like it.
Yeah.
So I've all but stopped doing it, but. But I'm really, really hesitant about this artist. First off, because they were answering their phone.
Answering the damn phone in a tattoo. Put your phone away.
Put your phone away. And like you're saying, it's not just bedside manner for the client. It's not just professionalism. It's not just rude, but it's also it's not sanitary. It's it's your phone.
Yeah, you tell me how many times you put that up to your face or put it in your pants or let other people touch it or do whatever, and then you're just gonna swap it on and off with gloves on or off. Which one are you doing?
Yeah. What if,
let me hear.
If they're
which
that
one.
distracted, did they change the gloves before or after they were on the phone? Did they? Did they just contaminate their phone, or did they just contaminate you? They probably contaminated one of them.
There's going to be one of them.
Right.
Somewhere in there. Something's contaminated.
I would be hesitant
good luck
about
with your plastic phone and your plastic screen and your good luck with that.
Yeah,
you ain't getting that out of that.
I would go and talk to the
Pepsi
artist.
phones.
I would get the idea. I would talk to them about their mindset. I would tell them what you don't like about it, but I would not be over anxious to have them fix it. To be honest,
you think?
I don't. Well, because I mean, I'm talking about a tattoo that I've never seen.
Yeah, no, that's what.
But if it's as bad as it sounds, I don't imagine that it's going to get better on the second pass. Yeah. Now, the one thing that what the person did say was that it was originally going to take a couple of sittings and ended up taking 4 hours. Maybe the person really was rushed, but you can be rushed and follow a stencil if you're a halfway decent artist. Maybe the lines aren't perfectly solid, but they shouldn't look like a child drew them. They should look like the lines that were placed on your skin with the stencil.
I've rarely told a person that it was going to take multiple sessions and it take one.
Yeah.
Where somehow it just magically...
I might say it'll take 2 and it takes 4.
Right. I'm saying it's usually the other way around.
Right.
And so that's, like you said, again, that's one of those... most people, you get to that point, you know how to manage your time. You have a pretty good guesstimate about how long something takes you. And like you said, if it looks half-assed, it's probably half-assed. I would still, like I said, it's one of those... I would first go to the owner. I'd try to go to them, try to explain what's going on, try to show them what you're really, what you're feeling, what it looks like, even if other people have, whatever. And then if they don't want to do anything about it, if you're not comfortable with them working on it,
if you're not, I would
like
trust
call it
your
a
gut.
loss. I mean, wash it. Just go find a person that will actually try to clean it up. I've done a lot of cover-up work that way, and I guarantee you'll find somebody. Like I said, find you another shop. Find you a better shop. If they don't want to deal with it, if no one at that shop wants to deal with it.
Or if you're not comfortable with their solution, with their proposed solution.
That's what I would say. If it's not a monetary thing, if it's not a I can fix it kind of thing, if it doesn't, but you don't think that you're going to get compensated like more than what you put into it.
Yeah, you're probably not going to make any money.
That will never, ever, ever happen. It will not happen.
Yeah, it'll probably be a lot more trouble than it's worth to try and do that. I hate that happened. I'm sorry about that. It's terrible.
Last thing you could possibly do though is get you a decent lawyer and go to civil court. And it might take you a while, but if you want to try to go down that route, at least get something to, like I said, you can try to explain your case to someone that's a mediator and see what happens.
Yeah.
Usually they're telling you about the most they could possibly give you is basically the amount that it would either be to remove it or to have someone else
cover it.
Redo it.
Yeah, redo it.
Rework it.
Yeah.
Cover it.
Yeah. I trust your gut. Go back. The artist needs. I would at least give them the opportunity to explain themselves. They need to see it. If it is a legitimate shop and a legitimate artist, they're probably going to want to know it.
And don't make a scene. Just like be like, yeah, I'd like to show this to everyone.
Yeah. That's unfortunate. I'm sorry that happened. Good luck.
Hopefully that helped. I mean, you definitely can get emotional, and you don't want your emotions to like take over and something like that. This is, for all intents and purposes, is still a business negotiation that you're in, and I know that a lot of people can get real, blood boiled, emotional and crazy. So don't let that happen.
Yeah, no. Go in there as a professional.
And that's why I would say bring someone as a friend that can keep you settled or whatever.
Yeah. Try to be professional. If it looks like it's escalating or it's not going to work out then walk out, go to another shop. Right. Kind of cut your losses there and make the decision then if you want to try to pursue it legally or whatever. But I don't know. That's too bad.
Yeah, it's too bad. I mean. Right. Again, you hopefully you did your homework, and then you pick someone, you talk to them, you get anxious toward it, and then you get some crap on you.
Yep. Keep sending us questions. We need more.
Good ones, though. Not crappy ones.
Go back and look at all of our episodes and ask something we haven't already answered.
Which is kind of hard.
That is hard.
No.
You can ask whatever question you want. If we've already answered it, we won't be assholes. We'll say, check out episode 22. You'll find out all about it.
We probably won't even remember it by then.
No, somebody will.
But if you have any comments, questions, unusual phrases you want answers to.
Unusual phrases?
I'm just like, I've been watching a lot of history of words and stuff like that. I've been reading a lot about, trying to get a little bit more about, a little conscious about it.
The words that you're
I'm
using?
trying to get, little more like 32 to 33 degree. You know what I'm talking about?
Oh
Like,
yeah. You're trying to up your Masonic
That's it.
rotation to 180.
I wish it was the 180.
Yeah. All right. Thanks,
Is that
guys.
it? Really?
I think. I don't know.
Okay, like us.
Like us on Facebook.
Thumbs up.
Follow us on Twitter.
Yeah, if you got crazy questions, let us know.
Or regular questions.
No, I like the crazier ones.
Okay, if you have
because
crazy
like that one, it's
questions,
like, should I
let us know.
sue him? Should I whatever? Should I?
Yeah.
I'm like, man, and it's a hard one. It's an emotional kind of thing. And,
I'd take it to the people's court at the very least. I'd go someplace
well,
where
that's
you
what I'm
can
saying.
really...
I used to watch. I mean, I hate to admit it, but
I know.
during the day when you're drawing, and you just keep it on. Sometimes it'd be like, but I've seen.
You were the court show.
But those
junkie.
are mediators, and they basically have a choice. They can hear what you have to say, they can see the work, and if they deem it and judge it like below par, below standards, that you got something basically that is not worth paying for, absolutely, you can get a judgment in your favor. But they will not probably give you anything more than, like I said.
Yeah.
I've seen that happen in several cases, and that's why that's a last means to an end. And hopefully, maybe got a lawyer friend or something like that.
Yeah. But avoid Judge Judy, you think? She's a bitch, huh?
I don't know. I mean,
I'd go for Joe Brown or
she
maybe.
does, well, that's what I say. I definitely would take
he's
it
from,
in a.
He's from Memphis, anyways. I think.
He's from Memphis, but he's had his own court problems lately, man.
Oh, has he? I don't keep up with him.
Well.
You know a lot better than I do. But I did used to come in and to make needles early in the day, and you were on your third judge show.
Yeah, those are good.
Talking, yelling at him with your back to the TV.
Yeah. What the hell? But that's all. You could. It's like watching the soap operas. I don't watch those. But I would assume it's like the same thing.
Yeah.
All right, now we're really out.
You guys take it easy. Send us your favorite judge shows.
Oh yeah, thanks. I like Judge Joe Brown. He was always, like I said, pretty well even-tempered person too.